Okay, so one of the themes of popular music in 2018 is that it's been really depressing. Now, I've mentioned this a lot, probably too much, and maybe I'm just projecting because I'm such a miserable asshole and I spend my life chained to a computer. But I'm pretty confident on this one. Everything's just gotten really, really downbeat. In fact, if you recall, I pointed out previously that just a few short years ago, one of the biggest hits of the country was literally called Happy. And one of the biggest hits this year is literally called Sad. I'm really proud of that one, actually. That's the kind of insight you can retire on. I'm kidding, I'll never be able to retire. Please donate to my Patreon, links in the description, and smash that bell.
I'm sad, I know, yeah.
But yeah, Sad. That sums up the year. A song called Sad by a wife beater who's dead. That's what we get in 2018, and it's what we deserve. So with that insight in mind, you can imagine how I perked up when, as the year was coming to a close, I saw a song shooting up the charts that was literally titled Happier. We went from happy to sad to happier?
I think that you'll be happier. I want you to be happier.
I want me to be happier too. Look, after 3 straight years of mopey drone pop, a song called Happier is, well, it's certainly suggestive. Does it mean the national mood is finally lightening up? Have we turned the corner? Is the zeitgeist going to become more optimistic?
House of Representatives
Flames.
the Mueller team
On the ground.
Romaine lettuce.
6 feet 4 inches.
We'll see! Okay, look, when a critic tries to tie a popular piece of media to the zeitgeist, it's usually pretty forced. I can cherry pick the data and project any narrative I want onto pop culture.
Yeah, we got it going on, got it going on. Don't it feel so good to be us?
See, look, everything's great. 2018 was sunshine and roses. So, yeah, let's not read too much into this. Let's look at this Happier for what it is, which is a 3-minute song. And it's from Bastille. Huh. Y'all know I have a running joke about the fluke indie hit sweepstakes where some random indie band no one's ever heard of gets lucky and has a crossover pop hit. I call it that because I expect these bands to disappear and never show up again. But it turns out a lot of these bands have they've invested their winnings pretty wisely. A bunch of them, despite never reaching those heights again, they've managed to stick around. Like Foster the People are still here, Walk the Moon are still here, even Panic at the Disco are still here. I mean, those guys were actual stars, but them having a hit in 2018 is so out of nowhere, I'm gonna count it. Fluke indie hit! And Bastille has also kept on trucking. They've kept racking up their alternative hits even though they haven't crossed over again. I'm never unhappy to hear them. They're not like my favorite band. They're not very musically creative. They're the same kind of synth-heavy, thin soup that way too many rock bands are nowadays, but they're at least better than Imagine Dragons. They've got nice, strong choruses, and I always like that main vocalist, Dan Bastille. I don't remember his last name, but I like Dan's emoting way too hard drama kid singing. I like how over the top he could get with his lyrics. I mean, his big hit was just about being bored with life, and he managed to compare it to one of the most infamous natural disasters in history. That's a guy I want to keep around. So he and his band are back with another big hit, and this time it's an EDM collaboration. EDM. It's keeping Coldplay relevant. It can keep Coldplay wannabes relevant too. The producer you might have heard of before 2018, but he's having a breakthrough year, and this is his biggest pop crossover to date. His name is Marshmello. He wears a giant marshmallow on his head. Sounds like I'm making that up, right? No, it's real. He does wear a giant marshmallow mask in the grand tradition of dance DJs wearing stupid helmets. And as a fellow face hider, I do appreciate the marketing appeal. A good, stupid EDM helmet should be something a 5th grader can doodle into his notebook. And I eagerly await the next EDM sensation, DJ Pyramid Head. See, here's the 2 of them now.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier.
Oh man, that does indeed make me be happier. I'm sorry, it's just Bastille is a very emotive and earnest band. I mean, Dan Bastille is at his piano pouring his guts out, and behind him you got an unfinished Disney World mascot who's all like, "Woo! Get turned!" Okay, sorry. Let's hear their song.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be.
Oh, it's one of these videos. No, I hate these EDM music videos. They're just short films that have nothing to do with the song. Oh well, anyway.
Every argument, every word we can't take back. Cause with all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that the story ends.
Okay, it looks like happier is going to be a very relative term. I mean, the word happier is literally a relative adjective, but this is not going to be that happy is what I mean. This appears to be a breakup song.
I want to see you smile, but no, that means I'll have to leave.
So it's very bittersweet is what I'm gathering. But bittersweet is still better than depressing. It's about moving forward. That is indeed happier. And the video's pretty happy too. I mean, look at that. It's a little girl who's so sad, but then she gets a puppy. And even though she grows up and the other girls are all mean to her, she still has her best friend. And she
So I'll go, I will go.
Oh my god! Why would you show me that? Who made the decision to put that in the video? I'm over here trying to be upbeat, and then you gotta show me a dying dog. You know, they do this to me all the time, man. It's impossible to make those transitions. I just want somebody to use his fucking brain, not come out of me being upbeat, and then I gotta talk about a fucking dog dying. Ugh, not showing that again. Do we have like a live video or... Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're staying on this one. Don't ever show me that dog video ever. Jeez. Okay, song. Okay.
I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier.
Now, Happier is a breakup song. But more specifically, it's an I'm breaking up with you for your sake song. I recognize that I'm not making you happy, so I'm leaving you for your sake. He's giving up everything he loves for her.
And the image of you being with someone else, well, it's eating me up inside.
I'll tell you what, I am a sucker for this kind of selfless sacrifice. I swallowed A Star Is Born hook, line, and sinker. Spoilers, I guess? Actually, don't give me any shit about that. That story's 80 years old. If you don't know how it ends by now, that's not my fault.
So I'll go.
But, I mean, don't you feel it? It's hurting him so much, but he loves her. Or him, I don't know. But he loves so much that he has to give up everything.
Every argument, every word we can't take back.
I mean, it's pretty clear that they're both miserable, so it's not that selfless. But, you know, I feel like letting that one slide. I mean, I can nitpick here and there.
Now if we jump together, at least we can swim far away from the wreck we made.
In this metaphor, you're still swimming together. Which is, I don't think that's where you're going with this. But like I said, those are nitpicks. I like this song. This is going right in the playlist. You know what? I am happier now, because we got some good music going on.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. So I'll go.
Okay, hold on. Stop. Something's wrong. I don't know. Should be working. Everything's there. But this just don't feel right to me. I'm trying to put my finger on it. Okay. Let me try and put my thoughts together here. Yeah, I'm generally better at talking about lyrics and personas and not so much the music and instruments, but that's the issue here, so I'm going to try and explain as best I can.
I know I'd go back to you.
There's a trend in current music. I've heard it called pop centrism. What it means is just kind of how every hit song these days all just kind of sounds the same tempo with the same sounds, nothing too slow, nothing too fast, nothing too exciting, nothing too angsty. Like, when was the last time something like Adele's Someone Like You got big? Just like this really spare, stripped down ballad. Or a big, over-the-top party anthem. I'm sure you can think of examples, but they're so much more rare now. Personally, I am no longer over getting told to throw my hands up in the air. So there. Because instead, what we've gotten is this mid-tempo, boring sludge. That's why pop music sounds so depressing these days. Not because it isn't happy, because it isn't anything. And you want to know who I blame? I blame all the EDM producers who have gotten big. It's their sound in particular is what's gotten very boring. And in fact, I'm just going to say it. I hate drops. In case you forgot, the drop is the thing that's replaced the chorus. It's where the song builds up to a big, booming musical phrase rather than any repeated lyrics. Like sometimes they have lyrics sung over top of them, but it's not a real chorus. It's like the riff in Jack and Diane. That's basically a drop. And that's what this part of the song is here, a drop. And I hate it. I didn't used to hate drops, but that's because they used to actually drop. They'd hit you like they fell from a 12-story building. But at some point after it went mainstream and all these big-name pop stars got involved, these drops, they just started slowly getting limper and sadder. What is that? What am I supposed to feel listening to that? I'm so sick of songs building up a head of steam like they're going somewhere, and then hitting some farting synthesizer line that means nothing. I don't know what to do with this. Does this riff mean anything to you? Does it signify resignation or surrender or hope that happiness can be salvaged from heartbreak? Or does it sound like something you'd play to keep the crowd awake during breaks at a hockey game? You know what? Maybe this is all my fault because I like that goddamn Chainsmokers song so much. But even at the time, I knew I was consciously choosing to overlook the blippity bloopity drop, which was easily the weakest part of that song. And maybe if I'd had 2 more years to get sick of these weak-ass drops, I wouldn't have liked that song at all. My bad, I guess. I don't know. I'm starting to suspect that this kind of festival techno has limited uses, and breakup songs aren't one of them. Here, let me give you my favorite version of this kind of breakup ballad, just for contrast. It's a country song. Just to see you smile. This is Tim McGraw's Just to See You Smile. And that song's a much better version of this kind of ballad, because it's not even a breakup song at first. The first verse is just minor sacrifices, like he saves up his money to buy a really fancy gift, and then in the second verse, and yesterday I knew just what you wanted. You came walking up to me with him. So I told you that I was happy for you, and given the chance I'd lie again. And then the song just ends. There's no third verse. McGraw sings the chorus just a single more time and then he disappears. And the band plays you out while you pick the shattered pieces of your heart out of your lap. That's a song where the music really captures the mood. Just a sucker punch of a lyric and then the audio version of end credits. And Happier just can't compete with that because its music and lyrics don't work together. Look at Dan Bastille doing, what is this, a breakup dance? Compared to all the other pop crossovers this year, this is actually one of the better drops I've heard, but it doesn't fit at all with the vibe of the song. It's too pumped up. It works against the angst of the lyrics. They flatten each other, they cancel each other out, which leaves us stuck in the middle again. And it's not like you can take the EDM out of it. The song was clearly built around the drop. So it's as good as it can be, I guess. The lyrics are there, the vocals are there, the melody is there. It's so close to being good, but it just doesn't break your heart like it should, no matter how many dead dogs they put in the video, which, I mean, that's just cheating, let's be real. I don't know. I was really rooting for this song at first, like maybe I would put it in my year-end top 10, but nah, I don't think so. It's not you, Bastille. It's me. Maybe it's best we go our separate ways. You know, for your sake. Yeah, that's a bummer. So much for the whole newfound national optimism thing I was going for. The song's way too sad for that with its dying dog video. Happier my ass. But again, it doesn't even matter, because these zeitgeist pieces are always a crock. And Happier isn't like a #1 hit or anything. It's not even going to be big enough to signify anything major anyway. Although, That new Ariana song that's a #1 hit, that's absolutely huge. And that's about going through dark times and coming out stronger and looking to the future. That is totally a song that's about getting over hardships and being happier. I'm going to have a think piece for you by the end of the week.
I will go.
It's a marshmallow world in the winter when the snow comes to cover the ground. It's time for play.